Hi, you guys. So I just wanted to come and talk about some stories that I've been wanting to cover. Um, and I thought I'd just put them all together and just go ahead and get it out of the way. Now, I'm going to start with the baby because this story is probably the oldest. And, like I said in the last video when I was talking about him, I think when he shot the person, the intruder at his house, the 911 call was released. I think I was talking about that. He has like a dark cloud over him or something. He's always in the middle of some violence, something violent, right? It's never, you don't get too many stories of anything else. You definitely don't get the music, any talk about his music, or anything about what we should be hearing about some of these people. Um, and he had, I think, like last week, there was a video of him hitting one of his artists or swinging on the guy um, backstage. And then a couple of days later, this whole situation happened. So I think TMZ and some other outlets, they posted this video of him attacking, I guess, the guy that owned the property where he was filming a video. I'm going to play that so you guys can see what he's saying, and then I'll come back.
Hey, you put don't touch, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Call him, we got it all on camera. Call him. What is he? Look, he charged me all aggressive. He put his hands on him. It's on camera. It's on the good one. It's on the good one. I'll play it back for you, right? Look at him. He's steady walking. Hey, you put don't touch, don't do it, don't do it. Call him, we got it all on camera.
So yeah, you can see that. I don't know if that was like the security guy or whoever, maybe a friend. I don't know. But they started grabbing him. Now, DaBaby was not involved in this. However, because he's an artist, he's always going to get the story, right? So I got to see what he's saying about that. But, he's just saying the man was being extremely rude to them, the way he was talking to them. But the media did not report it that way. And so he uploaded this clip of the incident, but I'll show it and then I'll come back.
On today's episode of Let's Make DaBaby Look Like a Bad Person, we have Gary Prager, a proud white supremacist, lying to TMZ and LAPD, not knowing that he's caught on camera.
Now you fucking niggas, fucking asshole, you scumbag, fucking I'll tell you how I feel.
Not to mention, he spit in DaBaby's face.
Now you fucking niggas, fucking asshole, you scumbag.
He'll tell you how he feels.
I'll tell you how I feel.
So yeah, so he's saying the man was, saying all kind of racist charged stuff to them. So that's probably why he met the ground. So I don't know. I don't know if that happened before the guy grabbed the man or if it happened, after. But, when the man, not that that excuses him for talking to them that way. And, I don't know. So he's saying that the man is not innocent. So in the situation, even though DaBaby didn't really even have anything to do with it, it looks as if security or someone else grabbed the man. However, he was, I guess he was charged as well, or they're trying to charge him. Eventually, you can just kind of see how this is all going to play out with this guy because he is constantly involved in something. At the end of the day, like even though you don't see him touching the man, however, so he probably will get off with on this. He was there, so and I believe it was his video shoot. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. And then I was also hearing that they're trying to reopen the whole Walmart situation, because the young guy's family maintained that the little boy wasn't approaching him to do anything to him, but he had a gun. I guess, they do sell guns in some of the Walmarts across the country. You can purchase guns and stuff from Walmart. Now, however, I don't know why they would allow you to walk around the store like that. I don't, I don't know. But I think they were saying the guy had a gun in his hand. And so maybe, he thought the person was approaching him to rob him or harm him or whatever. So I don't know, but they're saying when you look at the video, you don't see that way. So they're talking about opening that investigation back up. So we'll have to wait and see how all of this turns out. But you can kind of see how how this story might end for this guy, the baby person, because he's doing way too much. He's doing way too much. And eventually it's going to catch up, Let me just move on to the next story. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Two Live Crew. They were based out of Florida, birth of bass music, and they were charged for using explicit lyrics and stuff. This is who you get to thank for being able to say whatever it is you want to say in this music, right? You guys need to show this man some respect. Because they were arrested, and then they were trying to charge them over all of this, and they wanted to get rid of hip hop, period. But then they said they were going to put these stickers on there, the parental stickers, to let you know that there's all this foul language going on in the music. And so you get to thank, like I said, Two Live Crew for that. But anyway, one of the guys that were a part of Two Live Crew, Brother Marquis, he interviewed with Vlad recently, and Vlad uploaded the interview yesterday. And so he was saying all this stuff about Luke not paying him. That's kind of what it came off to me. Like, he didn't really want to pay people in the group, and that he was a nasty person towards them. And I guess he was doing that to kind of keep from paying them or having conversations about money. That's what it sounded like he was saying to me. I'm kind of just generalizing how I feel about it. You guys have to go over there and watch the interview, I guess, if you want to hear it for yourself, because I don't have it. I just have a small clip of Luke kind of responding to him, because he was saying that he felt like Vlad should fact check these stories that people are coming on his platform telling. And like I said, I'm not really feeling Vlad anyway. First of all, you're not Black. You constantly got all these Black people over here, stirring the pot and telling on themselves and doing, it's hard for me to respect somebody like that who's just blatantly doing stuff like that. And people don't get it, right? Because you guys just want to believe in this person. But it's kind of clear what he's doing to these artists, right? But anyway, they run over there anyway. I'm assuming money is involved, throw that stake in the lion's den and people will come. So I'm assuming that money is being exchanged for these people to come in here and telling all these stories or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys listen to what Luke had to say on this situation. And to my understanding, people were saying that Luke has been on Vlad's show as well. But I think Vlad's whole point is to stir the pot, to stir up all this nonsense, to get people to start telling other people's business, and putting things out there, that people can really look at and say, oh, well, maybe we need to investigate this, right? So you have to be careful with people who are trying to instigate, situations like that. You can say it's for entertainment value, but at the same time, is it for entertainment value? Y'all can let me know in the comments, but I'm gonna let you guys listen to Luke.
Hey. Hold on. Wait 1 minute. Yo. So I keep getting these little texts about some Vladtv interview that one of the members of the Two Live Crew did. And every quote is a lie. So, I don't run from no smoke. Vladtv or whatever the fuck TV you are. What I'm gonna do is this. If you looked at that garbage show and you got any questions to ask me, I will be on my Instagram live tonight at 10 p.m. when I put the babies to sleep. Ask me whatever the fuck you want to ask me. I don't run from no spot. This ain't no R&B singer. This ain't one of them tight pants rappers. No, this real nigga shit. Ask me what you going to ask me. Let's get it right. Uncle Luke, tonight, IG Live, 10 p.m.
Now, Luke, you was wearing some tight pants back in the day, though. Anyway, um, so yeah, he was saying that he pretty much felt like Vlad should fact check these stories before he just let people run on there saying all kind of stuff. Um, and there's a lot of people out here with these 90s stories, right? All these stories, and I've said this myself. Some of this stuff I don't remember some of the stuff going down the way people are telling the stories, and obviously certain groups and certain areas I wouldn't know about because I didn't grow up in those areas. But just the thought of, you know, him allowing him to run a story like he wasn't paying people and saying all this stuff about how he was conducting business and they don't get royalties and all this stuff. I agree with Luke. Some of this stuff could be fact checked before you even let people come in there. And then if you don't allow Luke to come on and kind of say what he has to say, at least you can kind of counter the person. Well, this or that is what they're saying. Instead of just putting it out like that. Excuse me, your dog, ma'am. No, not in here while I'm in. Excuse. Okay, I might have to get off here and catch a case. The baby is ripping off on your girl, okay? Anyway, like, okay, I'm not even ready to have a moment because this ain't about me. Let me get back into this. Anyway, let me move on. um, I can't believe she just did that. Like, that was so crazy. Anyway, yeah. Uh, let me move on to Joe Budden, child. I heard him finish this video because, anyway, woosah. So Joe Budden, last week, he was on his podcast talking about, did I turn that music off? Did I even turn it on? Okay. He was on his podcast talking about Megan and Tori's situation, right? And I said this in my video. I said, like, people are going to cloud chase with the situation between Megan and Tori because they don't go to court until September. So people gonna keep running all this nonsense, saying all this stuff. Nobody was there. Y'all wasn't there. I wasn't there. I'm not saying that I know what happened. And I always maintain that. I don't know what happened, but there's no reason for me not to believe Megan, okay, at the same time. There's no reason for me to believe that she needs to lie about that situation because the things that she's saying, they line up with what it has been put out here by the police, by the media, mainstream media, not the YouTube investigators, not the Sherlock Holmes of Instagram. So I can believe, what she's saying. There's a reason for me not to believe it. And, I wouldn't want to see one of my nieces or any woman that I know being put in that situation like that and then having to deal with all these people, in particular men, coming and trying to minimize what happened to her, right? Like, that's crazy. And, for me, I feel like there needs to be a change with all this social media stuff. And I know there are people are getting put in place. So this whole freedom of speech and people can say whatever they want to say, but they need to expect people to say whatever they want to say back to them. That's it and that's all. Because I'm not going to bite my tongue for nobody either. So when you out here talking crazy, you should expect people to respond to you. But anyway, I just feel like people who, especially when you have domestic violence in your background and beating up women and children and doing all kind of and R-wording people and S-wording people, essaying people, when you have all that stuff on you, you shouldn't even be on the topic unless you're talking about it from the angle of healing. If you're not talking about it from the angle of healing, you shouldn't even be on talking about it. And I agree with Evelyn. He could have brought up his own situations, his own cases of domestic violence instead of bringing her up, because he, started comparing the situation to Evelyn in chat, saying that, oh, Megan's using this for sympathy and for attention. No, Tory is using it for attention because he's trying to put doubt out here because some of these people may end up on the jury. So if you put all this craziness out here to make people doubt that this lady is telling the truth, then maybe you can, kind of change things or put things in your favor once people are picked for this jury, if there is a jury trial. I don't know, but that's what I think is what's going on with that. But he's doing way more talking than she is. So why would you think that she's using the situation for sympathy? She doesn't have to use the situation at all, to be really honest. And she tries not to, more so than Tory. But people they won't let it go. So she has to keep coming and defending herself. Or she may feel that way. And she hasn't done any bunch of interviews. That was the only interview that she's done, to my knowledge. On the whole situation, and she's not on trial. She's not the one that's going to have to prove anything. He has to. He's the one saying he didn't do it. Okay? So, trying to fabricate all this nonsense. And I just find it insulting when all these men who have SA cases, R-word cases, domestic violence, and all kind of other stuff on them, they're out here doing the most talking. You're the main ones who shouldn't have nothing to say. You need to shut up and let it play out because you guys are not helping him. Anyway, but like I said, I feel like a lot of these people are just cloud chasing that situation. None of them were there. To my understanding, they don't know either one of these people to even be speaking on it. Like, you can't even speak to Tory's character because you probably don't even know him to try to say what he will and will not do. But you got a whole lot to say. And so it's that part for me. And I do agree with Evelyn. He could have just used his own situations if you wanted to talk about domestic violence, because you have those. You have that on you. Okay. And then I think some of the women that he was dating came out and kind of backed her up. But yeah, I think that as women, we need to start pushing for something to get done about these guys. Trying to minimize domestic violence and attacks on women and stuff like that. I don't think that's okay. First of all, she was shot, so somebody shot her. Okay, so we're not going to ever go around that because that's what happened. Now, you can come out here and try to shake up the story however you want to shake it up. But I just feel like somebody like Joe Budden shouldn't even be speaking on domestic violence at all. You need to keep taking out your vocabulary. Like I said, if you're not coming from a place of healing, then you have no business on the topic. And I really feel that women need to start speaking up to these platforms and to whoever he's working for, to these sponsors, whoever is paying for these commercials and whatever he got going on, paying him or whatever he got going on. So these people can learn to shut up. Because like I said, there was no really real reason for him to speak on that. Anyway, she has a right to do interviews. That was the only interview that she's done so far. What else was like? Oh, yeah, speaking of attacking women. So this lady, well, let me play the clip so I can get my throat together.
So you've had beefs with Lil Mama, Monique, Cassie, Azalea Banks, your own co-host, Angela Yee. The list goes on and on and on and on and on.
Beefs is a strong word.
You've maligned black women. So why do you hate black women exactly?
No, I love black women. And I mean, I guess I can see where people would say that if you want to take those 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times.
And put them together in a montage.
Come on.
The following was paid for by Z-Ways America.
Why would I get what legends get?
Because their resume recently is better. You can just prove it on paper.
With music industry, people say I'm dope all the time.
Really? You sell them vagina, be honest.
Can't ask Brandy what that mouth do, though.
No, you cannot. You absolutely cannot.
That's a compliment. Don't worry about it.
Right now, you have to caricature yourself.
But you're the person that's promoting that.
Come on, man.
Yeah, all the totally different.
I know. Well, yes, you're a different person every year. Come on.
Isn't that good, though? It's almost like they're ashamed of, you know, their past. Shouldn't we always constantly evolve?
Oh, okay. So Charlemagne's doing this interview. I think her name is pronounced Ziwa. And she has a new show on Showtime. And she, as you can hear, one of the questions was about his relationship with all these women that he has got into over the years on the Breakfast Club. And he kind of pretty much says that he really don't have a problem with Black women. Yeah, he really didn't answer the question. He can see how it looks that way. Yeah, it looks that way because you are always, was always rude and nasty to women on the show. And then, yeah, I guess at some point, he and Angela had a disagreement as well, the whole Gucci situation. So I don't know, maybe he wasn't prepared for the question. But, he just kept saying he don't have an issue with Black women. But that's what people feel because that's what they see. And I know I was talking about that myself when the whole situation with Ari Lennox happened. And people, I guess from Nigeria or wherever, were saying that, well, you Black women let Charlemagne talk to you kind of way. And it's like, no, they really don't. They really don't allow him to do that. That's kind of his platform. And, they can't control the stuff that's going to come out of his mouth. Unless people start complaining, right, to the right people. And oftentimes, in this country, Black women don't speak up for themselves. And this is why a lot of this stuff continues to just go on and on and on. Because people are not saying anything or doing anything about it. But as long as he knows how he is carrying himself and the legacy that he's leaving of that, right? Because people do see it that way. People, if they keep seeing you saying certain things to Black women and only to Black women, he doesn't have all this smoke for Black men or other men, right? The way he has it for women. And so I thought that was a good point that she was making. And I think her show aired already, the interview. But if you have Showtime, you probably can catch it. Probably can see it here on YouTube as well. The full interview. So, I thought that was interesting that she asked him about that. And maybe he probably knew she was going to say that. Because he didn't really say much. He just said that he don't have a problem with them. She didn't bring the young lady that he was charged with over that situation up. But, some of these guys, they do have issues with women. And that's stuff that they should go and work out. And like I said, they need to stop thinking that it's okay to jump in the media acting a certain way. And then not expecting people to recognize it for what it is. People have a right to do that. Like you want to start screaming about your freedom of speech, people can do the same, right? So I thought it was interesting that she brought that up. Like I said, you can look for her show on Showtime if you want to watch the full interview. Let me know what you guys think about all these stories. Let me get out of here, child. This lady, she done came here and I'm downstairs. We have this area, normally nobody's in here. So that's why I just came down here to put these videos together to go live. And she gonna come into this room and let her dog loose in the room. Like, have you ever heard of such? Like, she didn't ask or anything. And she saw me talking. She may have thought I was talking on the phone, right? which is fine, but you still can say, excuse me, do you mind if I, I understand this is a shared space, but like, let's be respectful, And I guess if I wasn't on here, I probably would have cussed her out. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to come back live today or not, but I hope you guys enjoy your Monday, and I will see you in the next video.